The advantages of 3-conductor cable over 3 single-conductor cables include reduced installation time and labor. Installing a single 3-conductor cable is quicker and requires less labor than installing 3 separate single-conductor cables. This can save time and reduce installation costs. Reduced splicing and terminations is also an advantage. Only one set of splices or terminations is required for a 3-conductor cable, while 3 separate splices or terminations are needed for single-conductor cables. This reduces the number of potential failure points and improves reliability. Improved mechanical stability is another advantage. A 3-conductor cable is more rigid and stable than 3 separate single-conductor cables. It can better withstand vibrations and handling during installation and operation. Ease of routing and handling is yet another advantage. A single 3-conductor cable is easier to route and handle than cable trays and conduits. It can reduce congestion and make maintenance easier. The advantages of 3 single-conductor cables over 3-conductor cable include flexibility. Single-conductor cables offer greater flexibility than 3-conductor cables. They can be easier to bend and install in tight spaces or around obstacles. Customization is also an advantage. Single-conductor cables can be tailored to specific requirements such as different insulation thicknesses or conductor sizes. This allows for more flexibility in design and can meet specific project needs. Phase isolation is better with single conductors. Single-conductor cables provide better phase isolation than 3-conductor cables. This can reduce the risk of electrical faults between phases. Enhanced fault isolation is another advantage. In the event of a fault, single-conductor cables allow for easier fault identification and isolation. This can facilitate faster restoration of service and reduce downtime. Additional considerations include cost. 3-conductor cables may be more cost-effective than 3 single-conductor cables for long runs due to reduced installation costs. However, for shorter runs, single-conductor cables may be more economical. Voltage rating is also important. Both 3-conductor and 3 single-conductor cables are available in various voltage ratings. The appropriate rating should be selected based on the specific application. Environmental conditions are also a factor. The environmental conditions in which the cables will be installed should also be considered when making a decision. 3-conductor cables may be more suitable for applications with limited space or exposure to harsh conditions. Ultimately, the choice between 3-conductor cable and 3 single-conductor cables depends on the specific requirements and constraints of the project. Firstly, consider the installation environment. Is it a tight space where flexibility is crucial, or a long run where ease of installation and cost savings are paramount? Secondly, evaluate the electrical requirements. Do you need enhanced phase isolation or fault identification capabilities? Thirdly, think about future maintenance. Will it be easier to maintain a single cable or individual conductors? Fourthly, assess the budget. Compare the total cost of materials, labor, and potential downtime for both options. Fifthly, consider the long-term reliability. Which option offers the best protection against environmental factors and mechanical stress? When evaluating cable options, it's important to consider the ampacity requirements for the specific application. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides tables that specify the allowable ampacities for different conductor sizes and insulation types. Refer to NEC Table 310.15b16, which is often used to determine the ampacity of conductors based on their insulation type and temperature rating. Keep in mind that these ampacity values are based on specific conditions, such as the number of conductors in a raceway or cable and the ambient temperature. If the installation conditions differ from those specified in the table, ampacity adjustment or correction factors may need to be applied. These factors are outlined in NEC Section 310.15b2 and 310.15c. For example, if more than 3 current-carrying conductors are installed in a raceway or cable, the ampacity of each conductor must be directed according to the adjustment factors provided in NEC Table 310.15 cone. This derriting is necessary to prevent overheating of the conductors due to the combined heat generated by multiple conductors in close proximity. Similarly, if the ambient temperature is higher than the temperature specified in the ampacity table, the ampacity of the conductors must be corrected using the correction factors provided in NEC table 310.15b2r. This correction is necessary because the insulation of the conductors is more likely to degrade at higher temperatures, which can reduce their ability to carry current safely. In addition to ampacity, voltage drop is another important factor to consider when selecting cables. Voltage drop is the reduction in voltage that occurs along the length of a conductor due to its resistance. Excessive voltage drop can cause equipment to malfunction or operate inefficiently. The NEC recommends limiting voltage drop to no more than 3% for branch circuits and 5% for feeders. To calculate voltage drop, you can use the following formula: voltage drop equals 2 times K times I times D divided by circular mils, where K is the direct current constant, which represents the resistance of a 1 foot length of conductor with a cross-sectional area of 1 circular mil. I is the current in amps, D is the one-way distance in feet, and circular mils is the cross-sectional area of the conductor in circular mils. The value of K varies depending on the conductor material. For copper conductors, K is typically around 12.9 ohm circular mils per foot at 75 degrees Celsius. For aluminum conductors, K is typically around 21.2 ohm circular mils per foot at 75 degrees Celsius. By calculating voltage drop for different conductor sizes, you can determine the minimum conductor size required to maintain acceptable voltage levels of the equipment. When selecting cables, it's also important to consider the type of insulation. Common insulation types include thermoplastic high heat resistant nylon coated, or THHN, cross-linked polyethylene, or XLPE, and ethylene propylene rubber, or EPR. THHN insulation is commonly used for general-purpose wiring in dry locations. It has a temperature rating of 90 degrees Celsius in dry locations and 75 degrees Celsius in wet locations. XLPE insulation is a thermoset material that offers excellent electrical and mechanical properties. It is commonly used for power cables and has a temperature rating of 90 degrees Celsius in both wet and dry locations. EPR insulation is another thermoset material that offers good flexibility and resistance to moisture and chemicals. It is often used for underground cables and has a temperature rating of 90 degrees Celsius. The choice of insulation type will depend on the specific application and environmental conditions. For example, if the cables will be exposed to moisture or chemicals, an insulation type with good resistance to these elements should be selected. If the cables will be installed in a high-temperature environment, an insulation type with a high temperature rating should be selected. In addition to the factors mentioned above, it's also important to consider the overall quality and reliability of the cables. Look for cables that are listed by a recognized testing laboratory, such as Underwriters Laboratories, RL, or Intertek, or ETL. These listings indicate that the cables have been tested and meet certain safety standards. It's also a good idea to choose cables from reputable manufacturers with a proven track record of producing high-quality products. This can help ensure that the cables will perform reliably over their intended lifespan. Remember to consult with a qualified electrical engineer or contractor to ensure that you select the appropriate cables for your specific application. They can help you assess your needs, evaluate the available options, and make informed decisions that will ensure the safety and reliability of your electrical system. When comparing 3 conductor cables and 3 single conductor cables for medium voltage applications, several additional factors come into play. Firstly, consider the shielding requirements. Medium voltage cables typically require shielding to contain the electric field and prevent interference with other equipment. 3 conductor cables often have a common shield that encloses all 3 conductors, while single conductor cables have individual shields for each conductor. The choice of shielding configuration can affect the cable's performance and cost. Secondly, consider the grounding requirements. Proper grounding is essential for medium voltage cables to ensure safety and prevent equipment damage. Three-conductor cables typically have a dedicated grounding conductor, while single-conductor cables may require separate grounding conductors to be installed. The grounding configuration should be carefully designed to meet the applicable codes and standards. Thirdly, consider the cable support and installation methods. Medium voltage cables can be heavy and require proper support to prevent sagging and damage. Three-conductor cables may require different support methods than single-conductor cables. The installation method should be carefully planned to ensure that the cables are installed correctly and safely. Fourthly, consider the cable termination and splicing methods. Terminating and splicing medium voltage cables require specialized tools and techniques. Three-conductor cables may require different termination and splicing methods than single-conductor cables. The termination and splicing methods should be performed by qualified personnel to ensure a reliable connection. Fifthly, consider the cable testing and commissioning requirements. After installation, medium voltage cables should be tested and commissioned to verify their performance and safety. Testing may include installation resistance testing, high potential testing, and partial discharge testing. The testing and commissioning procedures should be performed according to the applicable codes and standards. When selecting medium voltage cables, it's also important to consider the specific application requirements. For example, if the cables will be installed in a harsh environment, such as an underground duct bank or a chemical plant, they should be designed to withstand the specific environmental conditions. If the cables will be subjected to frequent bending or flexing, they should be designed to withstand the mechanical stresses. Ultimately, the choice between three-conductor cables and three single-conductor cables for medium voltage applications will depend on a variety of factors, including the electrical requirements, the environmental conditions, the installation methods, and the budget. It's important to consult with a qualified electrical engineer or contractor to ensure that you select the appropriate cables for your specific application. In summary, deciding between three-conductor and three single-conductor cables involves a comprehensive assessment. Consider installation speed, cost-effectiveness, flexibility needs, fault management preferences, and project-specific environmental and electrical demands. Consulting with experts ensures code compliance and optimal performance. Three single-conductor cables may be preferred where high flexibility, customized configurations, or enhanced fault isolation are necessary, such as in complex industrial installations or areas with limited space for bending and routing. The ability to tailor insulation and conductor sizes to meet specific load requirements and environmental conditions provides a distinct advantage. Enhanced fault isolation means that in the event of a cable fault, the problem can be more easily identified and isolated, minimizing downtime and improving safety. Three-conductor cables may be favored for simpler, long-run installations where minimizing installation time and labor cost is crucial. These cables are mechanically more stable, reducing the risk of damage from vibration and movement, which can be especially important in environments where cables are exposed to such conditions. They also require fewer terminations and splices, reducing potential points of failure and simplifying maintenance over the long term. The decision should also consider factors such as the ampacity and voltage drop requirement. Ensure that the selected cable meets these electrical specifications to maintain efficient and safe operation. Insulation type should be chosen based on the environmental conditions of the installation, such as temperature, moisture, and exposure to chemicals. Proper grounding and shielding are critical, particularly in medium voltage applications, to prevent electrical interference and ensure safety. A final decision must integrate all these considerations, ensuring a balance between cost, performance, and long-term reliability. Engaging with experienced electrical engineers and adhering to the NEC guidelines is essential for making an informed and effective choice.